I'm Kirk Anderson, and welcome to my Quick Tips series. This video is going to be a quick discussion on one of my favorite hand saws, the Japanese Ryoba pull saw. Now first, a little comparison between the Japanese Ryoba saw and a traditional Western style saw. One of the first things you'll notice is that the Western style saw only has saw teeth on one edge. And also, the saw blade is much thicker than the Japanese saw. The reason for this is that the Western style saw is push saw, so the blade needs to be thicker to prevent it from binding up when it's being pushed. Another difference is that the average Japanese Ryoba saw is much smaller than a Western style saw, and it has teeth on both edges of the blade. One set of coarse teeth and one set of fine teeth. Now the fine teeth is for cross-cutting and the coarse teeth is for ripping. And since it cuts on the pull stroke, the saw blade is much thinner and more flexible. Now since a Western style saw cuts on the push stroke, you need to start the cut on the far edge of the board you're cutting. While the Japanese Ryoba saw cuts on the pull stroke, so you start to cut on the closer edge of the board that you're cutting. And as you can tell, the handles of the saws are completely different. For lack of a better terminology, the Western style saw has a pistol grip style handle, which really only allows one hand to be in there while you're doing the cutting. Well, you can rest the other hand on top of the saw, but it's really not providing any energy into the cutting action. While the Japanese saw has a handle that would be more consistent with what a lot of people would think would be like a samurai sword, which allows both hands to be on the saw and providing energy into the cutting action. And because of this, the fatigue level is less in the Japanese saw. Now in review, I'm not saying that there's no place in the shop for a Western style saw. There most definitely is. And I will advocate that you should have both saws in your shop. But then again, if you're only going to have one hand saw in your shop, I would highly recommend a Japanese style Ryoba saw. Well, that's it for this quick tip. I hope you enjoyed it and give the video a like. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And as always, all you woodworkers out there, just get out there and cut some wood.